lovely people. Welcome to episode 22 of Book Read. I'm going to the United Kingdom to meet a very wonderful person, good friend of JCTV, the amazing Mr. Lee Benson. In fact, let's go and do it now. The marvellous Lee Benson. Fourth time now. I am loving this. Only 26 more, and then we've covered all of your fine pieces of literature. So you've been on. I think it was number 2, number 11, number 20, and now we're back on 22. So I think if people at home want to know how you became an author, they need to be going and checking one of those episodes, don't you think?
I reckon they should do.
Bloody lazy buggers just jumping in for an episode 22. They need to be going to check out.
There's a load to see, yeah.
But what I do want to find out is I want to hear about the book. How we won't book read right at this moment. I just want to hear about how this book came into being in the head of Mr. Lee Creative Benson.
Well, this is a book of which its title is Sun, Bears and Orangutans, and I had this mad idea ages ago, which has only come to fruition. Do you remember when you were young and in your school and teachers talk to you? Well, most kids listen, and I'd be listening, and then it would get a drone, and then you'd sort of look out the window and you'd see what was ever going on. And I was looking out the window this one time, and I saw the gardener, and he had sort of longish hair, and he was having a fag, and he was having a bonfire and everything. And in the end, you're hearing drone, 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 and I'm far more interested in what's going on outside the classroom. And in this particular book, this is exactly what happens. There's 3 kids, and the one child, Peter, he's listening to the teacher, yeah, and he looks out, and he sees a chap with long red hair and a cap on, and he sees all the fire and everything. And next minute, he wakes up in the jungle. He's obviously gone to sleep. And I had this whole adventure about him and his mate, Scrambler, whose real name is Mike, but he loves bikes, and Sophia, who's there. You've got to have a female person who keeps them all sane and sensible. And they end up in an area where they're meeting sun bears. Well, a friend of mine is saving sun bears, and the poor things, they're either killing them just to get the bile out of their bladders, or they're just using them as toys, or they're just killing them for fun. And they're in Borneo. And then the other most famous creature around for ages in Borneo is, of course, the orangutans, which are being wiped out due to that thing called palm oil.
Yeah.
Because they're destroying the forest, they're burning them down, devastating everything. So I tried to put a story together of sun bears, orangutans, and originally, because I was known for my children's stories with eggs, I had these egg characters, Henry Egg and Shelley Egg, and they were in the jungle, and I'm going, oh, this doesn't work, it doesn't work. So I whipped the eggs out and changed them into real people, worked a story, did a very simple children's version of it, and then I thought, you know what, that's not good enough. So it's now an 81-page with about 16 or 17 beautifully illustrated paintings by a lovely mature lady friend of mine who's in her mid-70s who painted the pictures. And it's just out now, called Sun, Bears and Orangutans by me, and her lovely name is Leslie Ware.
Amazing.
That's it in a nutshell, Jaden.
That's already got me going. How about you read us some? Would you like to do that?
I'll read you a little bit because it is 81 pages, and I don't want to send your listeners and viewers to sleep, although I don't think it will.
Well, no, but you might be creating more creatives. I mean, there is that, but no, leave them wanting more, my mother always said.
All right.
Okay.
Word of advice from your mum.
Let's do it.
Hi, everybody. Imagine falling asleep in class and waking up in the jungle. Whatever do you think happened next? Well, I'll tell you. We've got to read this book, but I'll give you a couple of chapters. Chapter 1, The Classroom. It was a Thursday afternoon, which meant it was double geography. Peter was sitting in the warm classroom listening to his teacher explain something about trees being chopped down with lots of creatures losing their homes in faraway lands. Animals are being wiped out by the ever-growing need of food for man on the planet. Sun bears and orangutans were going to be extinct if something wasn't done very soon. Mike, who was Peter's best friend, was sitting behind Peter and passed him a crumpled piece of paper torn out from his notebook without the teacher noticing. Peter carefully unravelled the crumpled note. Mike had written, "See you outside later, mate. I want to show you my brand new bike." As Peter crumpled the note tightly back into the palm of his hand, he noticed Sophia scowl at him. She whispered for him to pay attention, convinced that several of the class had seen what he was doing. Just like when I was at school. Peter nodded to Sophia, smiling in agreement, but instead of paying attention to the teacher, he glanced out of the large windows, studying the school gardener throwing wood and leaves onto the large, smoking bonfire. The gardener's long red hair was always in a mess, even with his cap on, and it reminded Peter of the Highland cattle he'd once seen on a trip to Scotland with his parents. The gardener's mop of bright red hair kept poking out from his cap as it tried to escape from his head. The class grew hotter and stuffier, and the drone of the teacher's voice made Peter very sleepy. Words slowly began to fly around the room. He heard the teacher say something about how palm oil production was endangering life and driving animals to extinction. And he heard that forests were being cleared. And then Peter felt his eyelids flicker, and he yawned, and he had great difficulty in keeping them open. And the yawn grew bigger and deeper from inside his lungs. And Peter's eyes refused to stay open, and he fell asleep.
Well, when I say keep and wanting more, that's like, where do we go from here? I love that, mate. I love that. Where is it out? Where is it available?
It's on the great big store in the sky.
Amazon.
That's the one, except it's the Borneo jungle, but it's in the Amazon jungle. And it's 82 pages long with lots of fabulous, fabulous paintings as the illustrations. And the best one is, because you and I are slightly follically challenged these days, Mr. O is the hairiest orangutan.
Love it.
And Mike goes, dude, how can you have a hairdo like that? We need to get you. So it's pretty cool.
Love it. Absolutely love it. I'm slightly jealous now, quite frankly, of him.
No.
Fantastic, mate. Thank you so much for sharing that book. People, if you love it, go and buy it. It's definitely a must-have for your children's bookshelves. And actually, if you're like me, I like a good read of anything that kind of I find exciting. So for anyone's bookshelf, it's actually a good read. So Christmas is coming, by the way. So perfect presents. Lee Benson, thank you so much. No doubt we will be seeing you again on another show very soon, I hope. From my mouths to the Lord or Lordess's ears. You take care, my friend. I'll see you later. Bye, mate. Lee, bloody wonderful to see you again. I'm looking forward to your next book read. People at home, don't forget to check him out on his past book reads as well. I think we said it was 2, 11 and 20. So yeah, go and check out his other shows. Go and hear about his other books and also find out how he became and why he became an author. Thank you so much for joining me. Please make sure you've added this book to your collection and I will see you on episode 23. Take care. Bye-bye.